Well, Donald Trump has floated a plan to, quote, clean out Gaza, calling it a demolition site. The U.S. president said he wants to relocate the Palestinian population into Egypt and Jordan. The Israeli far-right minister Bezalel Smotrich says he welcomes the idea. Well, let's cross to our reporter Mark Owen, who's standing by for us in Jerusalem. Mark, let's start then with that remark by Trump. Just how pertinent are his propositions?
If you ask Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, clearly there's a dismissal totally of what Trump is saying. Hamas is saying that this is a dangerous idea, one that takes away any right that the Palestinians have to their own territory, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad is very much backing up what Hamas is saying, as one might expect, but also adding that line that says that this is a complete alignment with the Israeli far right, the likes of Smotrich, Ben Gvir, the people who've been in many ways keeping Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition in power. And of course, there's a falling out between them to a great degree over what happens with the truce deal as it stands at this present moment in time. In terms of what Trump is proposing, in terms of sending Palestinians from Gaza into neighboring countries, if you take Egypt as an example, for instance, Egypt is already struggling to cope with the refugees that it's received from places such as Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea. There are rising prices for local Egyptian people as more and more people, as they see it, are benefiting from refugee status and getting what they see as a better deal. So there's already a lot of disquiet and discomfort there about the whole situation. If you look at the other countries too, they're hardly in a position to accept more refugees and care for those coming from a place which you could say they've already got their own country. So the proposition from Trump really isn't seen as something that is serious. It's seen as dangerous by Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. And the situation as they see it, it's kind of almost in line with what was floated last March by Jared Kushner, Trump's brother-in-law, who's talking about the development of Gaza after the war into something resembling Dubai, some kind of a great real estate complex, creating gated communities where people would live patrolled in some way by mercenaries, and creating a whole different picture for what the Gaza Strip would be after the war, but of course no place in it for the Palestinians.
Now, there's a sticking point of the ceasefire agreement. For Israel, it's centered on the hostage Abel Yehud. Are there any new developments on that this Sunday?
It seems to be a stalemate this Sunday in terms of what is happening with the actual resolution of that issue. Hamas has said that Abel Yehud is in good health. She's safe, she's alive. But of course, Israel was expecting her to be released by now. And this is obviously the sticking point of the situation. Now, Israel having moved its troops into the Netzrim corridor, which is stopping 1 million Gazans returning to their former homes, their former communities, which of course are in different states of dilapidation after months and months of Israeli carpet bombing. You get a situation here where there is actually no movement. So we're waiting for some kind of resolution on that issue. We understand that the Qatari Prime Minister is talking with both sides to try to resolve the situation. But as it stands this Sunday, Israel wants the hostage brought back, sent home. The Palestinians are already moving towards that area. We've seen images of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people going through the streets. They've dismantled their refugee tents, they've packed up all their remaining belongings, and they're heading back to where their homes used to be. Now, what they'll find there, of course, is anybody's guess, but it's very likely they'll find just rubble and basically the remains of what used to be their homes. We understand also that Israel has given bulldozers to the people of Gaza to try to clear those remains. One of the big issues there, of course, is what is in those remains. There could be unexploded ordnance, all manner of problems. And of course, you can imagine that if a bulldozer hits something like that, you've got a different situation to deal with. Lots of people could be hurt. It could be a very, very difficult situation, you say. So it is difficult this Sunday. We don't quite know where it's going next. We're hoping for some kind of resolution so that both sides can move forward in the way that they would like.
All right, Mark, thank you very much indeed for those updates from Jerusalem.